You are tuned in to WSPN, Women's Sports Prime Network, the home of empowerment in women's sports. Hi, and I have Zark here from WSPN. If you want to support the newspaper, go to buymeacoffee.com/WSPN. Again, buymeacoffee.com/WSPN, or click on the button at the bottom of the publication. Alrighty, hello, and welcome to WSPN, Women's Sports Prime Network. Usually I narrate softball games here on my show, but I'm just here to discuss as much as I can of softball. I'm a softball journalist, other than just a musician, because I also have a new song that released on April 30th, Midnight Shadow Sway, if you want to catch it on every major music platform. And you can also support the show on buymeacoffee.com/WSPN. And you can also check me on WSPN.substack.com. So we're going to get some news. I write a lot on Substack and on X. So let's get things running and flowing here with some softball news. So the first news we have here for all the softball fans out there is that Miss So softball pitcher cherishes 6 years of playing together. You know? So this is from NBC 8, Kamu. So let's get things running. So with name, image, and likeness deals, constant roster changes, and the transfer portals, it's unlikely that college athletes see more than a few years together on the same field. But for Miss O, softball Sierra's Harrison and Taylor panel, they've shared a diamond for 6 years. You know, when I found out we were both coming to Miss O, I was really excited, panel said. We were from the same area and we played together, so I had somebody that I knew coming in. It was so much fun. The duo played together with Ace Fast Pitch before both committing to Missouri for the 2023 season. Harrison was Missouri's Gatorade Player of the Year in 2021. So with panels struck out in 180 batters over 157 innings during her senior season at Lee's Summit West. We fed off each other very well, Harrison said, especially playing the same position and being in the same place most of the time. You have to lean on each other. You know, one of the most unforgettable memories came during last year's NCAA's Super Regionals against Duke. You know, the last strikeout, playing everywhere with Taylor and getting super fired up. That's one of my favorite memories, Harrison said. So, as their final season approaches, the two are soaking in every moment and are reflecting on how far they've come. You know, it's crazy to think we have 1 year left together, Harrison said, but I'm already excited for the last year. The SEC tournament begins Tuesday in Athens, Georgia. So there's a few events happening as of now. We have the SEC, we have the MAC. There's quite a handful. Let me get them here. There's the Big 12. The Big 12 is another one that is up and coming at this point in time. So there's a lot of softball stuff happening, whether college or not. You know, there is in different places of the world happening stuff, in different places of, you know, USA. There's slow pitch softball tournaments, and it's interesting how for males, when it comes to softball, they always have that slow pitch. You know, why can't it be just softball? You know, and if you want to throw a slow pitch, throw a slow pitch. If you want to throw a fast pitch, throw a fast pitch. You know. It should be like that. There shouldn't be a distinction of slow pitch and fast pitch, you know. But you know, it's a thing that we have to understand. So, anyways, the thing is that there's a lot of tournaments happening at this point in time. You know, one of the ones that I'm actually interested in is the Big 12. The Big 12 is a good one, you know. But let me get the list here so we can get ourselves aware of what's happening. And what's running. There's the Missouri Valley Softball Championship. There's the Big Sky Softball Championship. There's the Iona, the MAC Softball Championship. There's the OVC Softball Championship. There's the MAC Softball Championship. There's the CUSA Softball Championship. There's the Idaho State, the OVC Softball Championship Game 2. There's the Siena Game 4. There's the OVC Softball Championship Game 3. There's the American East Softball Championship. There is the 2025 ASUN Softball Championship. There is the Sacramento State, the Metro Atlantic Women's College Softball Championship, the Missouri Valley Softball Championship, the CUSA Game 2, the Big Sky Softball Game 6, Missouri Valley Softball Championship Game 3. There's also the SEC softball tournament presented by T-Mobile 5G home internet. And for those of you that are not aware as much as the next guy, the SEC, the reason why there's a lot of praise with the SEC championship is because SEC is exclusively D1. It's the Division 1. And those teams usually are like the top notch, the best teams out there. Right now being Florida Gators, one of the best teams to be out there. Their center field is just incredible. It's just mind blowing how good they are. So we have the 2025 ASUN Softball Championship. We have the Wichita State. We got the Sun Belt Softball Championship. We got the SEC softball again. We got the Wofford game. We got the Horizon League Softball Championship. We got the Atlantic 10. We got the Sun Belt. We have the NEC. We have the Big West. We have the North Texas, Dayton, and again, the Missouri. So those are most of the championships that are happening now, specifically NCAA. And most of the players that are D1, they have been given a golden ticket. And as we saw May 3rd, we had a result of who were the ones that actually got placed and where they got placed, because not everybody saw the announcement of the golden tickets. So that being said, we had the ceremony where we saw where each player was going. And that being said, there's always good things to be discussing at this point in time. I've actually did a recording from my news article that it's up on YouTube and Spotify. But, we can check out the results right here. There's actually good results out of that. So the AUSL 2025 College Draft Golden Ticket stars have been assigned. So I'm just going to summarize here quick because I'm not going to read you the whole thing. If you want, you can check out YouTube as you type in WSPN AUSL 2025 College Draft Golden Ticket stars assigned. But, for Vault, we have Sam Laundry. From Talents, we have Brie Ellis. For Blaze, we had Emma Ellis. For Bandits, we had Corey McMillan. Those were the round 1. Round 2, we had Talons. On Talons, we had Corby Ortiz. On Blaze, we had Sierra Sacco. On Bandits, we had Emily Kennedy. On Volts, we had Michaela Enderfield. And on round 3, to close it up, we had on Blaze, Anna Gold. On Bandits, Devin Netz. Volts, Danieka Coffey. And from Talons, Ryling Chaffin for pitcher. And those are good players, to say so the least. But the one that really caught my attention, really, really intense, was Sam Laundry, the pitcher. She is amazing. She is incredible pitching, And the other one that caught my attention was Brie Ellis. She's a great corner infielder. Pretty good. Really good. So those are like two of the players that I've been like interested in. Oh, and Corby Ortiz. Corby Ortiz for me is one of the most intensive outfielders out there. She's from Florida, and there's no better way to have a professional league started other than this, and we can't have a professional league without top-notch players, you know? It was kind of obvious that they were going to choose these players, you know? Really obvious. Really obvious. Um, On April 17th was when Anna Gold from Duke got the golden ticket. On April 18th, Brie Ellis got her ticket, and that was the most emotional one. And April 19th, we have Corby Otis. You know, it's great players out there, and it's great to have from the Marlins, the MLB Marlins commissioner. Now she's commissioning for the softball league, the AUSL, the Athletics Ultimate Softball League. And we have none other than Kim and G. And she has been a fan of softball. She actually used to play for Chicago back in the 90s, you know, and that was something that most people are not aware that some of the people that work or do stuff on the MLB or in any other professional baseball league, they probably had a background on softball. And, you know, softball is, even though it's a variation of baseball, it shouldn't be looked as a you know, a belittled version of baseball. You know, it should be looked at as its own thing. You know, it's another sport. It's another great way to get women out there. Even though we're gonna have the women's professional baseball league next year, it's still a good way to get people running and keep people flowing. Because, you know, I like women on sports. Women should be on sports as much as men, you know. And there's no other way to have women in sports than having them on sports that they are actually quite interested in. Because, you know, women can be in any sport, you know, but when you see that, not just that the women are having fun playing XYZ sports, but you see them playing, and then the audience is actually having a blast watching them. It's a win-win for both. You know, it's a win for the fans, and it's a win for the player itself. You know, because it's kind of sad. Even though the basketball women have, you know, lots of great basketball players, and there's a lot of fan base behind it. There's still a humongous amount of people that still say yucky things about women's basketball, and that shouldn't be the case. You know, misogyny is not part of this book of mine. Not at all. Not at all. All we do here is have good vibes and softball news. Literally, that's it. We are empowering women in sports, and that's what's all the things that we're gonna do here. You're not gonna belittle women whatsoever. You want to play rugby? Go play rugby. You want to play NFL flag? Go play NFL flag. You know, for your surprise, Caitlin Clark, the most famous basketball player right now from the Indiana Fevers, she actually wanted to be a NFL player, but since then, women weren't really pushed for NFL. There were just those random leagues that weren't even professional, and she would struggle as a athlete. And she found a way through basketball, but she actually loved playing football with her brother, and she would have loved to have been part of any football league. And now there is NFL flag, and they're considering to put her as one of the faces as NFL flag, even though she doesn't play or partake in any sort of NFL flag, you know. And that's what it's all about: getting women out there, getting women, showing them what they want to do. You want to fight and go do some MMA, go do some MMA. Right now, women's MMA is getting a lot of attention. You know, Cyborg is back, or soon to be back on the ring, or the octagon, better said. And what better way to have it, you know? So softball is one incredible sport, an incredible league. The NCAA has great players. They're moving on to professional leagues, most of them. And we're going to see just great things. Right now, the professional league of the AUSL only has 4 teams: Talons, Balds, Bandits, and, well, I'm missing one. It's let me go here back. It's Talons, Blades, Bandits, and Volts. Yeah, those 4 teams are up as of now. But Kim NG actually said that she's expecting to after the first inaugural season to expand a little bit the teams, and same thing has been happening with like same with basketball, with the Unrivaled Basketball. The Unrivaled Basketball actually was showcasing more women in sports in the U.S. Because some of the commentators said when we used to play basketball, we had to go overseas when it was off season to continue playing basketball and continue showcasing something. But it's great that now the way to stay locally, even though they have to move state to state. I think the Unravel was in Miami, and they had to get themselves up and running with that kind of stuff, and they got a local league that they can use when they're not in season of the WNBA. So that's what they're trying to do here with softball. They're trying to give us an extra league that's professional, that has, the top-notch players to continue pursuing a career in softball, not having to go to South America, Central America. One of the players I think one of the players that's playing on here that was already announced earlier, that she graduated in, I think, 2023. I think she was I don't remember her name, but I remember she graduated a while back, and she didn't want to do anything else than just continue playing professionally softball. So she had to move to Mexico in order to continue playing professional softball and being paid to play softball. And that shouldn't be the case. I think that you should have the chance to, have a secure chance to play on a league. If you live in Mexico and you were in a college team and then you move to the Mexican teams, and that's easy and kind of logical. But when you are from another place, that's the same thing that happens in Puerto Rico in a way, even though it's technically local, but physically, geographically, it's not. And having to have most of our baseball players move to the U.S. so they can be drafted and accepted in a professional baseball league is one of those things that makes us think, hey, shouldn't we have like something locally that eventually, if you want to move to the States, then you move to the States, but not be like, if you want to continue, you got to go to the States. It's a yes or yes if you want to continue your career. And that's one thing that, mind boggles me. It shouldn't be the case. There should be like more local teams that have a good round of pay, and you can actually like build a career and live comfortably out of continuing your softball playing. And that's what the AUSL is doing. What the AUSL is trying to be, the MLB of softball. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, because we do need those particular leagues that are big funded. They have a big mass of fans, and there is a big chunk of watchers and sponsors and stuff like that. Because sure, there is a lot of leagues that NCAA players can actually move as softball players and continue playing, but they're not going to be as big as the MLB. And I think that these leagues and all that stuff should be a thing. Leagues with big support, with like extensive support that makes more players want to continue playing. Because there are certain sports in college that don't have like this outlet that you can like make a career out of that, like, and most college players, when college is done, they go like, you know what, I'm gonna move to something else, something more traditional, and that is something that shouldn't be the case if you are really invested in that particular sport. And there are certain sports that don't have that kind of outlet. Same with women. Women have a struggle since like a while. They've been struggling for a while, but since the last Super Bowl, I've seen like an increase on women's sports lately, and women have been getting a bit more of a push than usual. Sure, we're still having that same misogyny as always, but we have to try to slowly change that mentality. We have to try to make people think that women shouldn't be belittled. Women are as good as what men can be. Women can actually do the same sport. If men can go against men on a sport, why can't women do the same thing against other women? You know? And there should be the same sport, but there's the women version. Every sport, no matter what kind of sport it is, it should have a women version for women to go against other women, you know? And if it's a really passive sport that not much of the biology of each gender influences, then sure, I would opt for a co-ed sport where women can be in the same team as a men. Or maybe they could do like some sports that I've seen, those game sports where they're actually co-ed, but they match a woman from the other team with a woman on the other team, and they go back and forth in each games. Like those uh there's like some sort of reality shows that have like they're technically like a sport. They do like those ninja stuff. What's it called? American Ninja Warrior kind of obstacles, and it's co-ed, but they get a woman from the other team and a woman from the other team, and they put them head to head. Same with a man from another man. They don't mix it up that much, unless it's a all versus all. The whole team versus the whole team of each side. And sure, that's when it's a completely co-ed. But that should be a thing. There should be more women in sports. And softball is the best outlet to do that. Sure, you can argue that there's the LPGA with golf. You can argue that there is volleyball and whatnot. But at this point in time, for some particular reason, which I have no clue, we've seen an increase in the interest in softball. There's been 9,000 attendances. There's been games that have had 13,000 attendances. And that is just crazy to say the least, And there's been record-breaking attendances on softball. And it should continue, It should be a thing that we should get more women out there to be noticed, to be put on the spotlight. I've heard from this ESPN employee that sports broadcasting has lost that flair of showing new players. They do it every now and then with the NFL, with baseball. They show the rookies, and not just the rookies when they are in the major leagues. They show the rookies sometimes beforehand, like college baseball and sometimes college softball nowadays, sometimes with the college basketball. They show the rookies that are trying to like rank up to the professional side, And that ex-employee from ESPN actually said that sort of thing is kind of slowly dying. We're just going to continue playing the game of we're only going to showcase the people that make it to the big stars. They become all-stars. We're not going to show anything of you until you are an all-star. It's like in women's basketball, Paige Buckers wasn't shown until she became like super intense with UConn, and those are the things that I have been wanting to see more often than not, showing the whole trajectory of a player. I've been following most of these players from these softball leagues from NCAA, and I've seen them grow. Madre, we got Carrasquillo, we have Corby Otis, we have Sierra Sacco, we have so many good players that I've seen them grow as a softball player, and that's what we should be showcasing more, their journey, not be like, oh, now you're a star? Okay, I'll show your journey. How do you became the star you are now? No. We should show them before, make them be noticed, because the only people that are actually noticing those awesome players that are becoming stars now are the people that are, scouting. And it should be not just the scouters. It should be also the broadcasters, the news article writers, the journalists, those are the people that should showcase more of that. And not just the small journalists. It should be the big journalists showing that. Because mind you, the only way that we can guarantee more women and these rookies to have more showcase and be in the spotlight, it's not with the local newspapers. It's not with the small podcasters. It's not with the local radio stations that are not affiliated to any of the big stations. It's the big media companies, the big ones, the ones that are in the big umbrella of the uh I don't know, the mainstream. That's what I was trying to look for, the word, the mainstream. Those are the people that can actually push, like TNT Sports, like ESPN Sports. And ESPN Sports lately, I've seen quite a handful of college stuff happening often. Before I got into sports, I mostly saw like extensive showcase of college football. But nowadays, I don't know if it's because I'm hyper focused in on sports lately instead of pop culture, but I've seen more showcase on traditional TV, not on the internet, because on the internet, on streaming, you can find whatever you want, because there's a hyper focused niche about whatever you want. If you want a show or a sport about something so niche, you'll find it. Someone at some point has done a video or a stream, or probably the Twitch stream or YouTube stream about any particular niche. But I'm talking about traditional broadcasting, where usually, since it's more expensive to do those types of broadcasting, they try to secure with what makes them the green, the big bucks, you know. And lately, I've been, surfing around those channels, and I've been seeing more college sports than just football. You know, football was everywhere, because I get it. Football is the number one American sport. It's like the traditional, the core. Like, you think of sports in the US, and you probably think of football, NFL, any of that, AFL, any of that stuff. You'll think of football. But now we're seeing more showcase of college baseball, college volleyball, and lately we're seeing a lot of showcase, because it's getting popular, college beach volleyball. We're seeing college gymnastics more often than not, because usually gymnastics was shown only in the Olympics on the traditional TV. Now we're seeing it more often than not. And it's not just getting the attention, because most of these more smaller sports that have a smaller audience usually were being, really watched, and the rankings were going high when it was the finals. But now we're seeing more people actually enduring and being resilient, watching the entire season of that particular sport. And NCAA is one of my most favorite parts of sports. Not just because I'm young and I like to see young people screen. No, it's because I like to see new talent. I'm the same way with music. I like to see new talent. New talent is my favorite way of enjoying any sort of entertainment. Whether it is sports, whether it is music, whether it is film, TV, or YouTube. I like to see the new stuff. I like to check more new stuff. You know, people that are breaking the boundaries, people that are doing something completely unique and different. That's what I like to see. I don't want to see the same thing over and over. Like I heard on a YouTube short. Why would you want to watch the NBA now when it's all just a fight of who can do the best 3-pointers? There's no cool dunks all the time. There is no awesome, like awesome strategies and stuff like that. It's all the same. It's all, let's guard 3-pointer. Let's guard 3-pointers. Let's guard 3-pointers. Let's guard and 3-pointers. So why would you want to watch the NBA now, other than just the important matches, And that being said, I like to watch the new stuff. And the new stuff is what brings me joy, And that's why I like to watch the NCAA. And not just because I get a joy from all these players, and they're starting, and they probably won't even go to a professional side. They're just doing their thing. Um, it's also because they're so friendly and so inviting. Um, obviously, I understand that when you become a sports celebrity, you get a little bit over your head sometimes. Not everybody, just some. I have actually had the chance to see some of the professional ones in person. Mayo, of course. And they are all over their head. I actually, what's his name again? I keep forgetting his name. He was in Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes, Space, the Jam, basketball players. I can't remember. It was Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing. So Patrick Ewing, I actually saw him in the Bahamas. And when my dad asked him for a picture, because I was really little, I wouldn't dare to talk to a really tall 6-footer person. Uh, and or I think he's higher than that. So the thing is, he asked for a picture, and he said, "No, I don't want a picture. I don't care." And my dad was like, "Are you serious? It's just for the little kids." No, no. And he was so arrogant. The way he was saying no was so arrogant. And his face, his look was like, what you asking for a picture? And, you know, I understand when you get that popular, you're earning that much, and you're technically a celebrity, even though you're in sports, but you're technically a celebrity. I know you're gonna get over your head. I know you're gonna get over your head. That's unnatural. I mean, that's natural. That's totally natural that you're gonna get over your head. It's okay. I understand. And some don't. Obviously, some are still friendly. Um, and some are still good. Like, for example, this Puerto Rican baseball player, what's his name again? I keep forgetting the names here because I'm not that acquaintance with male players lately. I used to be back in the day, and I used to know all the players like Michael Jordan, Wayne Knight, Charles Barkley. We got Sean Bradley, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, and all these good players out there. We've had Tiger Woods, Tommy Fleetwood, and we've had so many good players out there from the male side. But since I'm not that into them anymore, I keep forgetting their names. But there's this Puerto Rican baseball player. Uh he's right now playing. His name is Francisco Lindor. He's a friendly player. Lindor is a friendly player. Like my cousin's son, he's like 12, 13, something like that. And he went to one of the baseball games where Lindor was actually playing. And he yelled when he was coming out from the locker room, "Hey, who is a Puerto Rican? Who's Boricua?" And my cousin's son was like, "Me, me, 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 me." And he was so enthusiastic about that. He even went to my cousin's son and signed a baseball and gave it to him. It wasn't that my cousin's son asked for it. He said, "You know what? Here, take this ball." He signed it and gave it to him. So sure, there is still friendly players out there, but not all of them are friendly. Not all of them are friendly. And it's the case. It's a case, and most of these softball players, if not all the softball players, are just so friendly. They're so nice. They're so awesome to talk to. I've actually had DM conversations with Carrasquillo, and what other way do we want to do this? It's one thing that I've always wanted to let everybody know. and what makes it all interesting, And we have to have those kinds of stuff put in your own little head. hmm And that's what I like about softball players. They're so friendly. And I've even have had conversations with people that are not softball players, but they are in the same college as that softball team, and they have conversations with me like nothing, and they're so inviting. They don't judge you. Um, they just do what they got to do. I love, especially Liberty. Liberty is one of those Liberty Flames. They are the most friendliest team that I've ever had a chance to talk to, and I think that I don't know if their Christian God motto has to do with something with it, because some of them are really friendly because of that. Um, but for the most part, I think that they are really nice, and they are not afraid to talk to you. They're not afraid to give you a chance to uh, interact with them, and every time I do a post, after a while, someone from Liberty clicks like, shares, or replies on the post that I did. Last time that I posted something, after a while, where is she? This one player that's from Liberty, she always shares and likes my stuff. Oh, J Maya Barham, J Maya Barham. She is one of the players that usually has a lot of um likes on my posts, and that makes me really happy. You know, she is from Henderson, Kentucky. She was born in August 16. She joined X on 2019, and there's a lot of good things to be aware of, and she was recently interviewed by Sports Spectrum, and it's nice, she actually is really willing to talk to people, and they are good players. They're so grateful for everything. They always put Jehovah in the front page of everything, and I do like how they're more into the God thing, and they always throwing God out there as much as they can, and God is almighty, and like she said, God is not a one-time savior, you know. And you can check out on Sports Spectrum. It was done on April 29th. You can check out the conversations right there. I might actually post it right here on the show, so you can guys get a little bit of a flair of it, you know. And I actually enjoy most of the stuff that happens within all these stuff, And again, softball has been a really safe zone for me. I try to talk to the basketball fans with the women's basketball, and yikes, that is not pretty. And it was college basketball. It wasn't the unrivaled or professional basketball. No, it was college basketball where a lot of the folks were being misogynist about it, and I wasn't taking it. I was actually not taking it. I was like, you know what? I'll back off for basketball. Those comments are not my thing. I am not for misogyny. No, sir. No racist slur, no misogyny. The only way I can accept um some racist slur or a misogynist joke or something like that is if you are just doing a joke like in a stand-up comedy or on a cartoon or something that you're just trying to state like a joke of something that supposedly is supposed to be accepted by society, and then we're just making fun of it because it shouldn't be that way. And that's one thing that I honestly would be okay with. If you're doing it just because you're doing a stand up or a parody or a cartoon or an anime or something or a comedy show, and okay, I'll accept it there. But if you're being serious about it, if you're just because you believe it, because you want that to be a thing, then you're gonna get mad if it doesn't happen that way. Then I'm just gonna be like, you know what? No, because obviously there is a history in this world, and women historically were belittled. I can't deny that. For centuries, women has been belittled, and I'm trying to change that mentality with my little grain of salt that I'm throwing in there. It's gonna be difficult because I'm just one person. But if we all unite and put things together and give the people um, the things they want and use women in sports as a medium, in this case softball, then it would be a better, easier way to broadcast my thoughts on getting more women on the spotlight. But if it's just me by myself, it'll take me ages. It'll take me ages to put more women on the spotlight. And you know what? That's how it goes. That's how it's been going through this whole time. And I guess that we're just going to have to accept that for a while, but we got to fight against it. We're going to fight it. We're not going to take it. Like the song says, we're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. And for all you misogynists out there, your game has been defeated. So we don't want none of that stuff in my book, in my place. This is a safe zone for women. This is a safe zone for anyone that likes sports, Star Wars, retro video games, music. If this is your safe zone to speak out, be you, and showcase what makes you unique. And that's all that we need. We don't need anything else. Because once we get all the other stuff in the way, it just makes things more difficult. So we gotta, we have to, we shall, we will put more women in the spotlight. Simple as that. We ain't gonna take it any other way. So we are just having a good time. The CUSA is happening soon. The player of the week for the CUSA has been Rachel Rope from where? Liberty University. Number 5. I mean, she's number 15. Yeah, she's number 15. She's the player of the week. And there is no other way you're going to put it. And there's no other way that you're going to tell me that she's not player of the week. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, hope you're all having a great time and you're enjoying yourself a good time. And we're going to continue getting things flowing. Recently, Kennedy Koch followed me. She's from the Cowgirls, right? Yeah. No, she says yeah. No, wait. Wait a minute. Where is she from? Oh, she's a Raider. She's a Central Raider. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a Central Raider. But I'm happy that this is a thing. I'm happy that it's happening, that all the softball players are coming together. We are having a great time, and we're just going to continue doing what makes us happy. That's it. There's no other way to understand this, and there's no other way to put this out there. And those are my thoughts here. And softball this season has been great. There's been great players. There's been great seasons, great series, and all those sweeps that I've seen have been incredible. Specifically the Liberty sweep and the Florida sweep. Wow, those two were just mind blowing. Mind blowing. Sure, I did enjoy the OSU. OSU is another of my favorite teams, but something about that Florida and the Liberty ones were amazing because one thing is taking a sweep because you won the games. Another thing is taking the sweep because you desecrated those games in a way that the opposing team couldn't do jack, couldn't do anything whatsoever. I was going to say a swear word, but I'm going to abstain. I'm saying swear words. But anyways, I like those types of sweeps where you like boom, 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 boom. And there's no replies, no answers. It's all just smackaroos, smackaroos, smackaroos all the way, and you're blown into smithereens. Those are the types of sweeps that are like edge sitters. You sit on the edge of your seat. You're intense. You're crazy, and you're wanting to watch more, and you can't have enough. Those are the types of sweeps that make things more interesting. So, that being said, I appreciate everybody that's listening. If you're listening on the recording, thank you. I'll give my chance to try and upload this to Spotify and Substack and YouTube. I hope that everybody gets to have a good night. I hope that everybody gets to have a good time. And you can check out the interview by J. Maya Byram. She is from Liberty University. She's a flame. And I appreciate everybody that has been supporting me this whole time, that has been reading my newsletters, my news articles, and has been having a great time, or at least listens to my audio versions of my news articles. No matter where you're listening, as long as you're listening, thank you. And I'll make sure that every time that I have a chance to showcase these softball players, I'll give them the biggest showcase ever. And eventually I'm thinking of contacting Puerto Rican local players that play on local leagues, whether they're small or college, and give them a spotlight and an interview. Sure, it's going to be text, and I'll probably record my voiceover for the text, but it's going to be mostly just go to Substack, read the article, and keep walking. Because there is something special about writing, and I've been getting a lot of readers, more than listeners. It's crazy because of the era that we're living, that people like more the quick audio or video feed. And no, for some reason, people just want to read. Maybe my audience is more of a reader audience, and they're more used to that, and sports people are still in that quickness, having to skim through the article and you got the information. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Listening. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being awesome. I hope that you all have a great night. And that remember, with unity, we can conquer the world. And now you're listening with power. And let's empower women in sports. So thank you for being here. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Adios, amigos. Bye.